Round 4 of the NASCAR Wheel and Euro Series in both EuroNASCAR Pro and EuroNASCAR 2. Speedfest Sunday, one of the busiest days of the year in Brands Hatch's calendar, and definitely the busiest currently in the EuroNASCAR schedule as well. Lots to do beyond the motor racing action itself, and also great opportunities to get up close and personal with the stars and the cars of the NASCAR Wheel and Euro Series as they get ready to take on the Brands Hatch Indy circuit. Just 6 corners, but a very difficult little track, and one that Jimmy Ercole mastered on the Saturday. He took a win in EuroNASCAR Pro, his second at this circuit.
The American Speedfest 10, a very special place for this man, Gianmarco Ercole. He won yesterday, but first I want to talk about a different year. You remember 2018? You were the first EuroNASCAR 2 champion to ever win a EuroNASCAR Pro race. Do you remember your pose on the car?
Yeah.
Can you do it?
Sure. I remember the race, I remember the atmosphere of this event. And year by year, always better, always. It's incredible, the fun. We arrive in the pre-grid. It's very fantastic stay here with these fans.
Yesterday, you did it. You won the first race in EuroNASCAR Pro in 2023. How was it in front of so many people here in the United Kingdom? I
stay near to take the victory in Valencia, but in race 2, big problem. So here I have a good weekend. I take the pole position, I win race 1, I take the pole for the race 2, and today I think I think I can improve the work of this weekend, and I battle for the win in race 2.
Some unexpected guests on that podium, I reckon, but Gianmarco Ercole certainly expected at the sharp end of the grid. Pole position once again for the 54 Cal Racing driver, and of course, being Speedfest Sunday, the grand introductions were in full swing, as well as the perpetually full grid walk. United States Air Force from RAF Mildenhall also greeting us in the pre-race festivities with a rousing rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner. But once all of the pre-race festivities were complete, race time was upon us. Gianmarco Ercole on pole position, then Vittorio Gorelli alongside him on the front row, Kumpen and Hazemans sharing row 2, and Sebastian Blakemolen there in 3rd place. But look at that, Tobias Dauenhauer in the 99 promotion car trying to make it 3 wide on lap 1, turn 1. Oh, goodness me. Is that a sign of things to come as everybody makes their way through Druids Bend for the first time? Yevgen Sokolovsky in the hastily repaired number 48 car after Jack Davidson had a big crash with the Double V Racing 27 of Patrick Schauber in the EuroNASCAR 2 race on Saturday. Great to see the Marco Stipp 48 car back out there. I understand Hendricks Motorsport helping get that machine back out on circuit. But what of the Hendricks Motorsport number 50 car? It runs in 3rd place right now in the hands of Liam Hazemans. Vittorio Gorelli just ahead in 2nd place. And it is Jimmy Ercole that leads the way. Gianmarco Ercole, our race leader for now. He's going to have to work hard to try and build that advantage. And of course, this circuit, a tight little bull ring, it can be exceptionally likely that we get a safety car. There's also looming clouds overhead. I think they're going to hold off until the end of the race. But could the rain be a factor today at all? If not in this race, perhaps in the EuroNASCAR 2 race to follow. Jimmy Ercole leading the way then from Gorelli, from Hazemans, from Kumpen. Hazemans, the youngster in just his 2nd full season of racing. He dives to the inside of Vittorio Gorelli. I was about to say that he sometimes looks a lot more experienced than he is, and that was certainly the dive of a wily veteran into Druids Bend. Liam Hazemans up into 2nd place then with a great move on Vittorio Gorelli. A little bit of a clatter between the two of them. Hopefully both cars are undamaged. Vittorio Gorelli then dropping to P3, and Hazemans, now that he's gotten past the Blakemolen car, looks like he is closing in on Gianmarco Ercole. He's definitely managed to get to the rear bumper of that 54 Cal Racing car in record time. Coley with the undoubted experience advantage here, but Liam Hasemans has really taken to EuroNASCAR competition like a duck takes to water, in no small part thanks to father Twan Hasemans, also his elder brother Loris, a former EuroNASCAR Pro champion, of course. He's always here coaching his younger brother. Liam Hasemans just the latest in a long line of racers from the Dutch family. And Gianmarco Coley coming under significant pressure now from that number 50 Hendricks Motorsport car. He goes, I'm sure, defensive into the first corner. He'll take the inside line. Hasemans taking the outside there to try and cut towards the apex at Paddock Hill Bend. The classic move around this circuit. He's not quite got the run, I don't think, on this occasion. Coley covers off the immediate danger by taking that inside line. He does drift wide, though, on the second phase of Druids Bend. Still manages to keep the number 50 just behind. Oh, but Hasemans missing an apex there. He can't afford to do too much of that, of course, not just because it's slower and less efficient, but also too much of that skating around will get the best of those Hoosier tyres. Will have raced yesterday as well. The tyres on these cars will have done qualifying yesterday, Super Pole yesterday for the front runners, as well as this race. So the rubber is probably going to start biting back as the race goes on. But Hasemans with another good run down the Brabham Straight towards Paddock Hill Bend. Can't quite find a way through. Oh, but he drifted out wide there. It looked like the car just didn't want to turn. And I think Liam Hasemans with a problem might be out of this race. How odd that looked. I wonder if maybe power steering, something of that nature, or something in the suspension. Gianmarco Coley then running unopposed all of a sudden. I am understanding that it could well be power steering or Liam Hasemans, and this means the battle for second place is now once again featuring Vittorio Garelli, albeit now with Anthony Kumpen and Giorgio Maggi on his rear bumper. Garelli has looked a little bit unsteady at the wheel of that 72 for the last several laps. I think potentially suffering a bit of a problem. And look at this, down the Cooper Straight, Kumpen just flies past the number 72. All of these cars running the same specification engine. And now Giorgio Maggi passed as well. I think Vittorio Garelli simply must have a problem. What a shame for the Italian racer, who had a much better start to 2023 than he did his 2022 season. Meanwhile, we ride on board with the 88 of Max Lanza. Oh, and he has a big moment there into Paddock Hill Bend, and he's going to find the wall. Oh, and a roll as well. That's a nasty looking crash for the 88. You can see there the damage to the Tech Pro barriers, the padded barriers, and we now get an outside look at that crash, and nasty into the driver's side there, and then a roll for good measure. The force, the sheer force in which Lanza hit that wall, sending the car into a roll. Unsurprising, the safety car is out, and thankfully Lanza is out of his cockpit. That is great to see him walking away from that incident. We return to racing then with just a few laps left on the clock. 38 laps of racing when we got started, and as they resume in 2x2 formation, there are just 5 laps left to go. Anthony Kumpen to the outside of Gianmarco Coley as they resume racing once again. But look at Sebastian Bleekemolen. He's to the inside of Anthony Kumpen. Kumpen cuts the nose off the number 69 car. The battling between everyone else is allowing Gianmarco Coley to run away in the lead once again, and Lucas Lasser, who started well down the order, he's all the way up in 4th place. So Lucas Lasser has really done a good job here of working his way back up the pack. And that's critical, of course, for his championship aspirations. He was still championship leader coming into this 4th round of the season. As it stands, Coley will take that lead away. He just has to hold on to this victory to solidify that. And hold on to the victory is exactly what he is doing right now. Keeping a watching brief of Anthony Kumpen behind as Lucas Lasser gets a decent run there out of Paddock Hill Bend. Well, he dived to the inside of Sebastian Bleekemolen? No. Giorgio Maggi under significant pressure from Martin Dubek. Meanwhile, Tobias Downhauer there as well. Dubek dives to the inside. This is the final lap of the race, and that was a proper last chance saloon overtake, and that's going to allow Tobias Downhauer alongside Maggi as well. Oh, and Giorgio Maggi is forced onto the grass there. That's probably going to get looked at afterwards, but no such dramas for Gianmarco Ercoli, who charges down the Brabham Straight for the final time this weekend. He takes his second win of the weekend here at Brands Hatch. The American Speedfest falls to the king, Gianmarco Ercoli.
The king of Brands Hatch, the new championship leader, Gianmarco Ercoli. What a race!
So I work a lot to arrive to this. The red patch is much important for me. I'm happy for the race. It's difficult in the first part because Etzman have a very good speed, but after I management my car and the setup change from yesterday and the track with the rain tonight have a big problem for me. Always understeering, but managing this, arrived to the victory lane. So I'm very happy. Thanks to the team, to my sponsor, to me.
A great result for Anthony Kumpen too.
Amazing race for you, right?
Yeah, it was a good race. You know, I think there was a maximum I could do. Starting from P4, I stressed out my tires a bit too much yesterday because the setup was not perfectly what I wanted. But Ercoli was faster today, and then you have to admit second is the best you can do. Second in the championship, second in the race. It's still a long way to go. You know, there's Oschersleben coming, where I won the world championship 2 times. So we have my home track coming. So there's still a lot to come.
Still a lot to come, indeed. Gianmarco Ercoli, our championship leader, then ahead of Lasser and Kumpen. And look at Mark Goossens all the way up in 4th place. I'd say just by consistent finishing more than anything. Siortis, the Junior Trophy Championship leader. Fabrizio Armetta leading the Challenger Trophy Championship. EuroNASCAR 2 will close out the American Speedfest for the NASCAR Wheel and Euro Series as the fans continue to take in all the excitement of Speedfest. Drift demonstrations, monster trucks, all sorts going on in addition to the racing. Vladimiros Siortis becoming quite a few people's favourite across this weekend.
We're right now in front of this beautiful Le Mans NASCAR car that was at the Endurance Classic in France, and now it's here at Brands Hatch. Vladimiros, we have to talk about your season. 2 wins in Valencia in EuroNASCAR 2 and another win here in Brands Hatch. Why are you so fast?
Yeah, I mean, okay, we have some unlucky moments yesterday in EuroNASCAR Pro category, unfortunately, and the crash in Valencia, the last lap while being second, cost us a lot of disappointment, of course, but yes, we win on the EuroNASCAR 2 category yesterday. As a team, we were working very hard from the beginning of the season. The work outside, behind the scenes is just unreal. So I think as a team, we deserve it. Little bit more luck in EuroNASCAR Pro because now I think we are outside of top 10 in the championship. So this is so disappointing because we could lead the championship without the crash at the last lap in Valencia, you know.
You see how many people are here in the UK, but how is the resonance in Cyprus about EuroNASCAR and you driving in this championship?
Yeah, they already know what is the EuroNASCAR. All the people want to come to watch. I have the experience to bring some guys, some sponsors in Daytona 500 earlier this year. Wow, it's unreal. I hope at one moment EuroNASCAR will race in Cyprus, in the island of Aphrodite.
I'd certainly like to see that. Vladimiros Siortis doesn't need the home field advantage, though. He's our pole sitter once again. He's taken 3 races from 3 so far in the EuroNASCAR 2 season, and he's looking to make it 4 from 4 in EuroNASCAR 2 Race 2 of the American Speedfest weekend. And the British fans will be used to this sight because the rain has taken residence here at the Brands Hatch circuit. 31 laps of racing await our drivers in treacherous conditions. A few of the these drivers have had very limited running in the wet conditions. Paul Giffreau with a flying start from the outside of the front row of the grid. Could he lead in the early stages? Vladimir Osiortis trying to hold on around the outside, but it's Giffreau that leads the way. Paul Giffreau, your race leader then in the early stages in that number 3 car. Martin Dubek there in 3rd place. Alberto NASCAR down in 4th. He credits Mark Goosens from the number 56 Cal Racing crew as his wet weather guru. However, he's currently falling through the order a little bit there. There's Gil Linster around the outside of Alberto NASCAR in that 54 car that we've seen Jimmy Ercoli take 2 wins in. However, NASCAR deep on the brakes into Surtees. He moves himself back up into 4th position ahead of Linster. And look at that, the 69 car, Melvin de Groot on his return to EuroNASCAR after missing out on Valencia. He's really enjoying these wet conditions by the look of it. Drag racing with the number 50 car as they run across the line. NASCAR, I think, just starting to find his feet. He said, you know what, I was really bad in the rain, and then Mark Goosens taught me some of his tricks. Let's see if they pay off. Melvin de Groot has taken that position from Gil Linster then. Linster losing out to Melvin de Groot, the Dutch racer who's in the Legend Trophy classification. Giffreau still ahead of Siortsis in the battle for the lead. Siortsis not really losing time to the Frenchman here. Vladimiros has been karting since he was 5 years old, and I think of the two, he might have a little bit more rain racing experience. Some debris there on the Brabham Straight, but they managed to get around that without any problems. They run through Paddock Hill Bend yet again. You can see that it's not really soaking wet. The worst of the rain came between the EuroNASCAR Pro and EuroNASCAR 2 races here at Brands. We're now at a point where the circuit is drying, but everybody is on the wet tyres. The race was declared wet. I think given how difficult a tyre change is in these old school stock cars, I somehow doubt we'll see anyone go for a pit stop or dry tyres in this race. Already in amongst the lap traffic then, Paul Giffreau and Vladimir Siortsis, and Siortsis feels like he's getting a little bit closer with every passing lap. Is it if or is it when for Siortsis? He's keeping a watching brief on Paul Giffreau as they once again come out of the Paddock Hill Bend. Siortsis to the inside of Giffreau, but not quite close enough. Paul Giffreau is able to cover that one off, and Siortsis, to his credit, didn't make a lunge that was too rash in nature. Still relatively early in this 31-lap distance. There's no point putting too much on the line just yet. However, that was a good run out of Graham Hill Bend for the Cypriot. Not quite close enough, though. That battle for 3rd place looking exciting behind, with Martin Dubek leading the train. And Vladimir Siortsis has the inside line. He's got the lead. Vladimir Siortsis into the race lead. Paul Giffreau then drops down to 2nd place. He just drifted wide, trying to get the car turned into Clark Curve. And Vladimir Siortsis is now your race leader once again. Could he make it 4 from 4? Alberto NASCAR in 4th position. Martin Dubek under immense pressure right now from Alberto NASCAR. Melvin de Groot and Gil Linster all with them as well. The 4-car scrap for 3rd place, and they're coming up to some lap traffic as well. Alberto NASCAR with a good run out of Graham Hill Bend. Can he get it done as they approach Surtees? Yes, he can. He lunges up the inside to take 3rd position. Nice driving from NASCAR, but Dubek immediately tries to fire back. Can't quite get it done, however. Alberto NASCAR then moving up to 3rd position. Dubek down to 4th place, and Melvin de Groot may well challenge Martin Dubek in just a few moments here too. It looks as though Dubek is acting as the cork in the bottle a little bit at the moment. We ride on board with Paul Giffreau. Vladimir Siortsis just ahead of him. Giffreau down a gear, and Siortsis runs it wide. He's got 2 wheels on the gravel. He gets it back onto the tarmac, but not in time. Paul Giffreau manages to regain the race lead then. It was quite a low-speed error there, but once the car wants to go wide, it's very difficult to salvage it. Probably just caught one of the wetter patches around this drying circuit. And now Siortsis has it all to do again. He gives a couple of taps there to Paul Giffreau. Siortsis not slowing down. He's composed himself after that error immediately and means business. He's got 3 stickers on his door denoting 3 victories in EuroNASCAR 2. He wants to retain that 100% record if he possibly can. Siortsis forcing Giffreau to go defensive. Of course, Vladimir Siortsis is your championship leader over Alberto Nasca in the EuroNASCAR 2 Championship. He dives to the inside of Paul Giffreau. Giffreau realizes he's there, gives him space. Racing of the highest caliber between the two. And I think that Vladimir Siortsis has got it done. Will it be definitive this time, though? Paul Giffreau will immediately go back on the offensive. Gordon Barnes on his first weekend in EuroNASCAR 2, just ahead of the pair of them. He's a wise driver. I'm sure he will stay out of the way of these two. Vladimir Siortsis will be relieved to resume the race lead, which he lost momentarily. And that also, of course, gives him more points over Nasca and continues that winning streak. Martin Dubeck holding off the 69 car of Melvin de Groot. And de Groot there goes rally crossing to try and get to the inside line. Very nicely done by Melvin. He gets himself up into 4th place then at the expense of Martin Dubeck. Gil Linster there in 6th place. May well have an opportunity too. Paul Giffreau starting to fall into the clutches of Alberto Nasca. Nasca would like to get, even though it's just worth 1 point, it could all pay off come the end of the year. He knows that all too well. Alberto Nasca was the championship leader in EuroNASCAR 2 for most of last season. He only lost it in the very last race to Liam Hasemans last year. Alberto Nasca has no intention of repeating that. Those two continue to scrap for 2nd place, and it's allowed Vladimir Siortsis to disappear up the road. Vladimir Siortsis takes the win then. It's 4 from 4 in 2023 for the driver of the number 5. Vladimir Siortsis wins it. Giffreau held off Alberto Nasca for that 2nd position. But the speedy Cypriot, the super Cypriot, taking another win at Brands Hatch.
Congratulations, Vladimiros. Amazing race with Paul Giffreau. You were exchanging positions. The track evolved, it dried, then we had rain a little bit back. Just talk us through this amazing race.
Yeah, my biggest competitor in this race. Congrats to him for his amazing effort and his improvement from last year. I remember him a small kid coming here, you know. So yeah, for me, okay, I expected that it will be difficult, of course, as in my island, I mean, almost of the days we have a sun, 40s, up to 40s. So, yeah, not bad. I mean, we lost the place at the beginning under the rain. Then when it gets more dry, I push a lot. So we manage it. I lost the car while leading at the first time. That's why the Paul took the advantage again back. But we managed after. He was defending very well to claim, I mean, for the last time the victory. We did it. I am happy because yesterday you remember the problems. And I am so happy for myself, for what I did in Pro, for the team, what we did in EuroNASCAR 2, and we keep going.
I have to do this. Amazing. It was amazing. You told me before the race, 0 experience in the rain, and still you were in the lead 2 times. So close.
Yeah, I didn't expect that at all. I think that we were kind of really fast at the start of the race because of high tire pressure. So when it started to drying up, my tires were too hot, and when you look at my last lap, oh my god, I think I'm at 3 seconds per lap of Vladimiros, and yeah, it was so fun for my first time in the wet. Oh, I'm so happy, I'm so happy.
Delightful scenes then as Vladimir Siortsis continues to extend that championship lead. Nasca, Giffreau and Linster all very close in 2nd, 3rd and 4th in the standings. Jack Davidson leading the way among the rookies in that 48 car from Marco Stippen. Melvin de Groot, the Legend Trophy victor on this occasion. Ariana Casoli taking the victory among the Lady Trophy competitors. EuroNASCAR 2 then rounding out another incredible American Speed Fest, as now the teams of the NASCAR Wheel and Euro Series will get ready to head to Rome and the Autodromo di Vallelunga in July. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again very soon.